Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I'm your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our growing community. Today we talk about pain. We talk about how much pain you have and really what your pain threshold is, because I don't think people truly appreciate and understand what it is to start a business and to go through startup life. And I think that the difference between a successful business and a champion and someone who wins isn't necessarily about talent, isn't always about a better idea. It's about how much you can endure before you're willing to say, I can't do this anymore. And are you willing to go through that battle to get to the other side? Because if you're going into this thinking that it's easy, or you're starting this new business or giving up your secure income in your job and you're starting out as a business owner and you think this is going to be a cakewalk, you are in for a very shocking surprise. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who have immediate success in a business and maybe don't go through the struggles that I'm talking about, but that is the exception. The vast majority of us, especially if you are bootstrapping your business, meaning you're not raising outside funds to go into business, you're doing it with your own savings, or worse, you're doing it with friends and family money, because those people are going to be all over you about it. If that's the way you're starting your business, you are going to experience some level of pain, some level of discomfort, and the ability to get through that is going to be what separates the winners and the losers. So if you want to be on the winning side of this, you have to go into this eyes wide open. You have to know what you're getting into. You have to understand that part of starting a business is that you aren't going to have just a straight line of success. I've talked about this in the past, and I've used the analogy of spaghetti, where we think as we create this business plan that it's this perfectly rigid line, if we're going to go from here to here, like an uncooked piece of spaghetti. And then we get into it, and it turns out it's more like a cooked piece of spaghetti. Sometimes you're going this way, sometimes you're going backwards, and you're looping around based upon, what's happening in your day-to-day business. So as you start thinking about getting out of your current job, let's say you're a first-time entrepreneur and you're just about to start your own business, you have to understand that you will have challenges. You will have things that make you want to, cry and stop what you're doing and throw in the towel and quit. And you have to know that, because if you're not willing to go through that, don't start. You have to know that that's part of the journey. And what separates champions from the losers, or I should say the failed businesses, are the ability for the champions to endure pain. Pain could be in mental struggles going through the ups and downs of business. Pain could be the financial challenges of how do you keep the business running, or how do you pay your own personal bills while you're starting this business. Pain can be in that, your product or your service might be missing the mark and you have to go in and pivot and spend all this time building this thing to only find out that you didn't quite, hit the mark of what your customer or what you perceived your ideal customer profile to be, and you have to start over. So if you want to be a champion, you got to know you are going to go through pain. And that pain is what makes champions. So if you're not willing to put in that time, you're not willing to put in that grind, you're not willing to put yourself through that pain to get to the other side, don't start. Know what you're getting into, be eyes wide open. And as you start embarking on this journey, know that you're going to have people out there, your friends, your family, people like me who are on the internet who just want to help you get to the other side, because I've been through it. I've told my story. I came from a shed. I literally lived in a shed. I was scrounging up change out of ashtrays and different places, couch cushions, to pay, to eat something. I had my car repossessed. I drove a motorcycle in the middle of winter because I had a friend nice enough to loan me one, yet I didn't have to drive it. So I went through my own pain to get to where I am. And there are people way more successful than me that have experienced way more pain than me. And so you just have to be reminded that as you're getting into this journey, that is going to be part of what you go through. And it's just what's going to help you become a champion on the other side. So look to people who you trust, look to people who build you up, so that as you're having those moments of down where you're going through struggles either financially or mentally or just struggles with the business, that you have people there to pick you up. But go into this eyes wide open, know what you're getting into, and know that you have a support team that wants you to be successful, because entrepreneurs change the world. And people like me want to see you be successful. Thanks for tuning in today. Please remember to like and comment. Don't forget to share. Get the message out there. We're helping entrepreneurs become the best that they can possibly be. and I'm just one little guy helping in the process. Till then, keep projecting your grandeur and have a great day.